Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is, what does it take to begin your world again? Your world, there is the world, but what I'm talking about is your world, your preferences, how you live your life, what do you focus on, what makes you happy, what makes you miserable and needs to be avoided, what makes you happy and you need to focus on. But the outside world, it doesn't matter so much. You have to be aware of it so you can take steps as things are happening around you. But the big thing is to focus on your life and take steps to improve your life. So, what does it take to begin your world again? The first thing is the awareness that it's possible. Because if you don't think that it's possible, you're not going to take any other steps to make it so, right? You have to think about, I want, if there's something wrong in my life, I'm going to do something to make it better. If there's something I really want to do, I'm going to do the things necessary to do those things, right? The awareness that it's possible. And the evidence is around you. Other people are doing enormously interesting things, making huge strides in their life. You have to be aware that this is possible for you too. So that's first. And I think the overriding idea of this is that's first, that you be aware that it's doable. The next thing is the idea of what do you want to move towards. So what is it that you want, right? Do you want to get away from a frustrating marriage like I did when I was living with a verbally abusive wife? My idea was I didn't want to live this way anymore. I couldn't see spending the rest of my life living this way. I dealt with it for years. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. My idea was I'm going to leave her and see what happens, right? So it could be anything big like that, getting a different job, making a serious fitness or health goal, getting into a relationship, buying something very expensive, starting a new career, making your way through college, starting a business, big. Those are usually big things and even little things. The next thing is energy and attention on that, right? Your attention, whatever the major thing is that you're working on, you would put your full attention on it. So when I was living with a verbally abusive wife, my full attention was on, at first it was just trying to survive this horrible situation, but eventually it became, well, I have to find the right time to leave. And the attention was on some preparing to leave and then the actual leaving. And it's kind of like when you're looking for a job, you need to put your full attention on that task. Lots of energy, lots of attention, lots of time. The more time and energy and attention you put on something, the more likely it's going to happen. So let's say you have a full-time job, but you don't like it. It's not working out that well for you. You would want to make your part-time job finding a new job where you would be spending hours and hours and hours every week on the task of getting a new job. This is basically how I landed the job of my dreams over 5 years ago. I was working at a different job. I didn't like it. It wasn't working out good for me. But I spent, that was a 40 or more hour a week job. I spent many hours from over many months to get this job, right? It was attention, it was time, it was energy. It was a very busy time. I didn't focus on hardly anything else during that time but trying to find a much better job. And just you have to think about it, you have to plan for it, you have to do whatever steps are necessary. Time, energy, and attention. Persistence. Again, over the months with that job, it took a lot of persistence, effort, continual effort on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, until it materialized. The same thing with leaving my wife. You just because you leave her, you could always slip back and go backwards, right? But you have to persistently stay left. The fifth thing would be patience. You need patience for things to line up, right? When I was trying to get this job, it took time to get it. If I would have needed to get the job in a couple of weeks, that it just wouldn't work. It took many months of a persistent and patience to get there. Another thing is to begin your world again is to use examples from your past. You would have success stories, and they may be very slight, but you still have had success. So since you've had success in the past at something, you can use that past success example to power you forward. You can use examples from others. Other people have made significant progress in their life. Why can't you? Why can't you? Okay, this is always there. Somebody did something to better their life. Why can't I do that? Why can't you do that? You would want to have, another one is to have some anger at the frustrating situation you're currently in, and you use that anger as energy. So the job, I was very angry that I was working this job. It alternated between extreme boredom and extreme stress. And except for the paycheck, I couldn't hardly stand to be there. I was angry at myself for leaving a better job that I had left. I was angry at the situation, and I used that anger to power me forward, to not give up, to use persistence and patience to get the better job I have now. And the similar thing with my situation I was in with my verbally abusive wife was I was angry. I didn't like being treated horribly. I was angry at her. I didn't like to be treated poorly. I used that anger to power me, to keep me going in the hard times, to prepare, and then to ultimately to leave. Anger is a very powerful emotion if you channel it properly towards creating something better in your life, to begin your world again. Another thing is to avoid wasting your time and energy on whatever else. Because all of this takes time, energy, patience, attention. You have to give up other things, at least temporarily, while you're doing something of extreme value to begin your world again. You're gonna have to turn the TV off. You're gonna have to stop watching the news. You're gonna have to not focus on anything but solving your immediate problems or moving toward what that world-changing situation you want to get into is, right? You can't fritter. You're basically when you're basically, life is basically trying to not fritter away all your time and energy on the non-essentials when you have something of an extreme essential to you. To begin your world again, it's a huge change, and it demands your full attention and time, and everything else will just have to kind of fall by the wayside. And the way I think of it is all these little things, let's say the little things that normal people worry about and care about, all those will always be there. When you straighten out your life and you get things rolling in the right way and you're winning at life and things are going your way, you can then enjoy some of those little things that normal people worry about and gossip about. You can get back to that. But in the meanwhile, while you're trying to change your world, all of that needs to just be totally not part of your current situation. And then maybe the last thing to begin your world again is just faith in the process. Faith that this is going to happen for you if you can do all these things. And a belief in yourself that you deserve to have a great life. You don't deserve to have a horrible life. And so whatever it would take for you to move away from the horrible life into a good life, you have to have the faith that that's possible for you. And faith that if you can keep going and keep persistently going and be patient and use your energy and attention, that you'll ultimately get there. And faith in the fact that you don't know exactly when the good times will come, but they will come if you persistently work toward that. So give that idea some thought, all for now.